Out at sea, a mother bird scavenges for food to feed her newborn chicks. She mistakes brightly colored plastic bag debris as fish and dives down to feed. Once the pieces are ingested, the bird flies back to her nest, where she begins to regurgitate her dinner to feed her young. As the plastic material is regurgitated, it becomes stuck in the mother's throat, and she eventually suffocates to death, leaving the newborn chicks hungry, malnourished, and unprotected from predators. By continuing to use and manufacture plastic bags, we are damaging the earth. The three main points that I will present today are, first and foremost, that plastic bags are destructive to the environment. Secondly, the process of creating plastic bags is not only harmful to the environment, but also is depleting our finite supply of non-renewable resources. Lastly, plastic bags have deadly effects on the Earth's wildlife. First, I would like to discuss the ways in which plastic bags damage the environment. Plastic bags are one of the most toxic pollutants harming our planet. Sharon Jacobson, author of the academic journal entitled Plastic Bag Pollution, states that 500 billion plastic bags are used each year on a worldwide scale. Each individual uses approximately 83 plastic bags in just 1 year. Consider then that the average family in America, that consists of 4 people, produces 332 plastic bags as garbage every single year. These bags are both difficult and costly to recycle, which is why they often end up in landfills. While this out-of-sight, out-of-mind disposal is convenient for most people, it is actually harmful to the environment. Bags that end up in the ocean release toxins as they slowly break down. In 2009, scientists discovered that as plastic decomposes, toxic bisphenol A and PS oligomer are released into the water. These substances pollute the water, poison marine life, and destroy coral reefs. Plastic bags, whether in the ocean or in landfills, do not decompose quickly. It can take up to 1,000 years just for one plastic bag to decompose, meaning that if you throw out a plastic bag today, that bag will still be sitting in a landfill during your 12th great-grandchild's life. Think for a moment of future generations. What kind of environment do you want them to grow up in? At the rate that we're going, there won't be much left for them. The creation of plastic bags is quickly diminishing our supply on non-renewable resources. Non-renewable resources are resources that, once completely used up, won't naturally replace themselves for billions of years. Plastic bags are made from high-density polyethylene, a substance derived from natural gas and petroleum oil. This oil that we use to make plastic bags is the fastest and most used of all our resources. It has been recorded that it takes about 100 million barrels of oil to create plastic bags for just 1 year. Claire Legurn-Little, author of When Mermaids Cry, The Great Plastic Tide, estimates that at this rate, we could completely use up our oil supply by the middle of this century. Not only are we rapidly reducing our finite supply of oil, but also we are damaging the environment in an attempt to recover this resource. Offshore drilling is the most popular way to obtain oil, and it disrupts wildlife and water sources in the process. In several cases, drilling has gone awry and caused more harm than good. As I'm sure we all remember the famous BP oil spill in 2010, in which 4.9 million barrels of oil polluted up to 68,000 square miles of ocean in the Gulf of Mexico. 8 years later, and we are still seeing the negative effects of this disaster. More than half of the area's bottlenose dolphin population developed lung disease, with 20% of this group succumbing to the illness. More than 1,700 sea turtles and 930 dolphins and whales were found stranded. We must consider if our dependence on plastic bags is really worth all of this environmental destruction. Unfortunately, this incident is just one way in which plastic bags are harmful to Earth's wildlife. This disaster caused by oil drilling was necessary to the creation of plastic bags, but now we must examine how plastic bags themselves impact the environment. Plastic bags are incredibly harmful to wildlife, especially to marine animals, seeing as 26 million tons of plastic bag debris finds its way into the oceans. Once eaten, plastic bags cannot be digested or passed, meaning the plastic remains in an animal's stomach until the creature either suffocates to death or is poisoned by the foreign body. The National Oceanographic and Atmospheric Administration estimates that at least 100,000 mammals and birds die from plastic bag ingestion or strangulation each year. The environmental organization Greenpeace has reported that over 267 different species, ranging from whales, sea lions, birds, and even microscopic organisms like zooplankton, have suffered from ingestion of plastic or have been ensnared. Large pieces of plastic debris form what is known as ghost nets, seeing as the plastic material is hard to detect in open water, and some animals swim right into it. Once ensnared, the animal struggles to break free. If they are lucky enough to detangle themselves, they usually swim away with some kind of laceration from the plastic that, in most cases, becomes infected and affects the animal's quality of life. If they are not able to remove themselves from the plastic net, it is likely the animal will either starve to death or will suffocate and drown. Many sea creatures, specifically those like sea turtles that prey on jellyfish, often mistake plastic bags for food. Ultimately, the plastic kills the animal. I hope that by this point I have convinced you of the terror plastic bags rain upon the environment and the creatures that reside within it. But don't feel too helpless. Now that you are aware of the issue and are educated on the topic, you have the power to make a difference. So let's review. Plastic bags pollute the earth. They are unable to quickly biodegrade, meaning that the number of discarded plastic bags is piling up around the world. These bags will remain in landfills and oceans for hundreds of years, releasing toxic chemicals into the environment as they ever so slowly break down. In addition to this, the actual process of creating plastic bags is destroying our environment with offshore drilling, as well as rapidly decreasing our supply of our most valued non-renewable resource. Finally, animals are being ensnared, strangled, and suffocated by plastic bag debris that finds its way into their environment. To prevent any more death and destruction, I urge you to please consider alternate options in the future. Use bags that can be recycled and cut down on the amount of garbage that you and your family produce throughout the course of a year. You can be the difference between life or death for not just an animal, but for entire species of animals. Thank you.